In 1992, George Marcello was diagnosed with liver disease.
I was very scared. I was very angry also because I have a lot of belief in God and I have a lot of faith. And at that time, I was blaming
Luckily for George Marcello, a suitable organ was donated. In August of 1995, George received a new liver and a new lease on life. This new lease on life inspired George to bring organ donation to the attention of the Canadian public.
Billy?
Hey, how you doing?
Not bad, buddy.
I'm just over here seeing my buddies off. Wish them all the luck in the world. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Okay, guys, good luck.
Well, these two men chose the slowest. They are walking from Toronto to Ottawa.
George Marcello and Sam Vinci.
George Marcello is now taking life one day at a time and step by step. He's hoping to do a cross-Ontario tour, raising awareness for organ donation. He started June 26th.
I pretty well counted my blessings before 95.
Walking across Ontario to raise awareness towards organ donations.
And George, how are you holding up?
I feel still good. I mean, the weather's been pretty unkind to me the first month and a half. I've had real scorchers and electrical storms following me and mosquitoes from another planet.
Prognosis is excellent. 2 years later, he's doing well. In fact, he's walking across the province.
Joe Camara is a good friend of George and his road manager. What's a typical day during the walk like?
One day is very tedious, you know, driving 1 kilometer an hour beside him, making sure he doesn't get run over on the road. Well, here we go. George is gonna have to stay with his foot elevated for the next couple of days because the blister busted and he got infected. And how did you feel about the doctor's prescription and his advice, George?
It's only 1 day, it's not 2 days.
It's 2 days, he said. 48 hours. He's got himself a pair of crutches. This guy is fucking crazy enough to be hobbling down the highway on crutches. I guarantee you, you'll see that on film. Bye.
A beautiful summer? Is Ontario?
Ontario is the most beautiful province in the world.
And you were well received?
Yes, by every community. There's a lot of Italians in Ontario. I can't believe it.
Toccato quasi 1 milione di persone.
I am so proud to be a Canadian. You know, and
Marcello walked more than 2,000 kilometers across Ontario to get the message out. Both men presented a plaque to the transplant unit at Toronto General Hospital before meeting provincial Liberal leader Dalton McGuinty outside.
George's walk ends September 30th in Toronto, after which he'll meet Premier Mike Harris.
There's talk about me being acknowledged at the throne speech on
You're going to be marching around Ontario, 2,000 kilometers here and there and everywhere. Why are you doing that, and what do you hope to achieve?
After further cuts in healthcare spending, and specifically from the multi-organ retrieval exchange program,
we have, like so many other organizations funded by government, just had a funding cut, one more funding cut. And George is going to be raising awareness, I think, very significantly.
George's main goal was to get the attention of the Harris government. And he got it.
Like me, thousands of people across Ontario were inspired by George Marcello and a whole step-by-step team as he walked across the province. And that's why I invited George to join me in the legislature for the throne speech, our inaugural throne speech this session.
George Marcello waited years for a donor before his life-saving transplant in 1995. This year, he walked across Ontario to increase awareness of organ donation. In response to Mr. Marcello's mission, and on behalf of the people of Ontario, Premier Harris has accepted as a Millennium Challenge the goal of doubling the organ donation rate by 2005. Your government is developing an organ donor action plan that, through outreach and education, will raise public awareness and improve registration. A new Premier's Advisory Board on Organ Donation, headed by hockey legend Don Cherry, will recommend complementary initiatives.
The Premier's Advisory Board went on to become the Trillium Gift of Life Network. Neither Step by Step nor George were invited to participate.
The provincial agency's position. Happy to turn the floor over to Barbara Fisher, and following her speech, any questions that need to be asked could be addressed to me, or if there's specific questions to ask Barbara, she's here to answer them. Thank you.
Thanks, George, and good morning, everybody. I'm involved because I care. I am a past member of the government that, in fact, funded the Ontario Trillium Gift of Life Network to the tune of $120 million. In 1999, Premier of the day, Premier Harris, made that commitment to Ontarians to move forward on the issue. It was because of George's work that, in fact, that fund was set up. It was introduced in a throne speech, and work began. It wasn't until about a year.
Hey, Lord, won't trouble never end? Tell me, are you still my friend? I've got such a heavy load. When will I reach that glory road? One more mountain to climb, one more river to cross. Come such a long, long way, still got a long way to go.
I know George is tied up, but I just want to add, on behalf of the legislature, our respect for what's being done here today.
Shuffling our feet. And let's get into business of saving lives. Now.
And that Hummer is going to be traveling with you. You'll be walking. It'll be following through Canada. Now, very harsh winter. This Hummer is formerly a military vehicle. Is that correct?
That's correct. It used to be a machine of war. Now it's the love machine. It's going to help.
As a liver recipient, he'll be walking across Canada, taking 25 million steps.
This time, he took with him the torch of life, a torch that would be touched by over 1 million Canadians.
Marcello is walking across Canada to raise awareness for organ donation. He met with Mayor Vic Power, who
Red light, he goes from car to car asking for donations to help his cause.
It's going towards organ, Step by Step Organ Transplant Association.
George has been on the road for 225 days. He started his journey in Toronto and is now making his way through the prairies.
The final decision has to be made by the family. Thank you. Thanks a lot, bud.
In 1995, George received
In our first segment, we bring you the story of George Marcello's journey across Canada. For the last 250 days, George has been on the road telling Canadians about the shortage of organ donations and the vital need for a national donor registry. We had a chance to speak with Mr. Marcello during his recent visit to Moose Jaw.
Well, actually, today is day 252. And from Kenora, we're going to be walking west towards Victoria. And
from there, he's hopping a plane and taking his mission around the world. And he's hoping to meet some fairly high-profile people along the way.
One with the Pope in Rome. We're hoping to have an audience with him, and we're hoping he can proclaim on behalf of the Vatican that they fully support organ donations, and then we're hoping to stop off in London to meet the Queen.
Hello, it's 10:15 here in our studio in Vatican City. I'm Laura Angela Bagnetto. I'm sitting next to a man who has crossed one of the world's longest land masses on foot. From Canada is in the studio with me right now. Hi, and welcome to Rome. Thanks for coming by.
Hi, thank you for having me here
too. George came back to finish his walk across the country, facing his second arduous winter.
And this walk can reach every Canadian from coast to coast and leave them with a good feeling when they think about organ donations. And we're also trying to encourage and strongly inspire the government to take some more steps into, changing the system.
The walk did indeed get the attention of the federal government. Then Health Minister Alan Rock announced the formation of a National Organ Council with an immediate $20 million in funding.
In order to help us with this process of awareness, I'm delighted to say that Her Excellency the Governor-General of Canada has agreed to participate in the campaign as an honorary patron. And speaking of awareness, I want to acknowledge the presence here today of a man who is himself the recipient of a donated organ, whose life was renewed as a result, and has been spending the last few months walking across the country, carrying a torch, talking to families and Canadians along the way, bringing home the point that we should all be aware of the importance of organ donation. George Marcello, congratulations and thank you for what you've done.
Thank you, George.
As a symbol of hope, George travels with the Olympic torch of life, where to date, over 1 million people have held the torch as symbol of their support. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please join me in welcoming Mr. George Marcello, who is in day number 541 of his 769-day walk.
We should all be aware of the importance of organ donation. George Marcello, congratulations and thank you for what you've done.
Thank you, George.
And he's the guy that's going to do it. And I think it's an appropriate thing that he's here at the legislature to get some respect from the people that really need to see this done. To get some respect from the people. Get some respect from the people. Get some respect from the people.